joins Psilac in the dark, hidden altar room, where the strange cleric tells him of the regents needed to do Veras's dark will: dragon bones, fetid meat, emerald powder, and elf blood. Despite being warned to stay put, a hobgoblin feels naked without decent weapons, so he sneaks out under the dark of night to replenish his empty gold purse. The venture almost ends in his death, and he slinks back to the shop, empty-handed and wounded. The next night he sets out to retrieve the hidden dragon's bones beneath the lake. He reaches the forest without incident, and even manages to force 3 woodsmen into his service. While his thralls are retrieving the bones from the murky depths, an owlbear shows up. But Verasi was gracing Psilac with her dark smile, and he slew the mighty beast. After gathering enough bones, he set out on his return journey. But one night he is attacked by hungry spiders, and while he manages to drive them off, he succumbed to their poison. At least he is with Verasi now, but whether or not that is a good thing, we'll never know. The next challenger to step forward is Genie Cellwag, a young self-absorbed noble who seemed to have been blessed with the ability to cast both arcane and divine spells, but may be too much of a handful for his family to handle. How will he fare? What lurks ahead? What bloody fate awaits? Find out next time on Dicing with Death.
Hello everybody and welcome to Dicing with Death. I think my volume was a little loud there, but hey, who cares? Welcome to Dicing with Death, everybody. Ryan, how are you doing on this fine Thursday evening? Oh, you know what? You're still muted because I'm an idiot. There you go. How you doing, Ryan?
Well, I was doing well, but now I'm horribly offended that you muted me.
Oh God, I'm so sorry.
Different answer.
Excellent.
Just doing okay. How about you, Neil?
Oh, I'm doing great. I didn't have to listen to you that entire intro. It was fantastic.
But I had to listen to you.
Yep, it's great because I'll mute Ryan during the intro so his voice doesn't play over the intro song and the intro recap. But I can still talk at him, and I just can't hear what he says, so I get to babble endlessly, and it's probably a huge pain in the ass.
I can mute you if I want.
Oh, so you don't want to mute me? That's so sweet. Anyway, we are here with our new character because, so sadly, Psilac died to some spiders.
I thought they were eels.
Well, they're eels with legs. Eels with lots and lots of legs.
Poisonous eels with lots and lots of legs.
Yeah. And so we have rolled up my new character. His name is Genie Cellwag. He is a half-elf fighter mage cleric. We didn't go fighter mage cleric thief. That'd just be ridiculous. I have 12 strength, 5 dex, 11 con, 12 int, 9 will, 12 perception, and 12 charisma.
You also couldn't be a thief with those stats.
You're right. I couldn't.
You shouldn't even be alive with those stats, but
Nope.
hey.
5 dex and a bastard sword? I don't think so, but hey, we're doing it anyway. That 5 dex gives me an AC penalty of 2, so even with my shield specialization and my sword and shield fighting style to give me a +1 AC, my AC is 12, because you can't wear armor and cast spells.
But if you get surprised, you ignore dex bonuses, right?
Yes.
So if you get surprised, you won't have time to stumble into their blades.
Exactly. That's wonderful. And as a multi-classed mage cleric, I get spells from both. However, my willpower / wisdom is so low, I have a 20% chance of spell failure with all my cleric spells, and I only get 1 cleric spell per day. And for today, I've chosen Sanctuary as my cleric spell and Color Spray as my wizard spell.
So, I think we touched a little on backstory last time. Do you want to give a
Yeah,
recap of your past life and
sure.
the family dramas?
Genie's a half elf in a human noble family. He's kind of a burden for everyone around him because, where does mom get that elven blood in him? It's been a bit of an issue. He's never known who his father is. It's just kind of. uh, and so he kind of has been a little bit of an outcast, but he's a fucking genius. Well, at least he thinks he's a genius. He's only got 12 int. But he learned magic, wizard spells, and cleric spells. So he's got like the divine gift and the arcane gift. And that makes him cocky. And then his family also, he's a noble. They want him to be a good warrior so he can, be a general one day or some shit. So they put him through a bunch of fighter training. But he's just like really good at both schools of magic or both types of magic, and it gets to his head, and eventually he gets in a little bit of trouble with all this stuff. And so, we didn't say that he got kicked out, did we?
No. So I think where we start, you've just received a letter from your aunt, your
Right.
mother's sister, who you maybe have met once when you were a child. Something along the lines of, "Dearest Genie, your cousin Randolph has been struck deathly ill with an ailment of most peculiar nature." This is the voice of your aunt inside of your head.
Mm-hmm.
I implore you to come most urgently. I have need of your particular talents. Signed, Aunt Genie. Your aunt's name is also Genie.
Genie's my first name. Was I named after my aunt?
Yes, you were named after your mother's sister.
Oh God!
This
No wonder he's got such a chip on his shoulder.
You can step in and tell me I'm wrong when it comes to.
No, it's beautiful. I love it.
Okay.
I'm by what you mean. I hate it, but it's perfect.
So you received this letter some days ago, made yourself ready, and departed by horse.
I have my own horse. Her name is Fancy. And I went out of my way to buy riding saddle, horse blanket, and large saddlebags.
And fancy silk clothes.
And I spent 35 gold on silk clothes.
Yes, so they're secondhand or perhaps slightly defective. They're not the 50 GP silk clothes we're used to. But
These are like, oh, you know what it is? It's the hand-me-down kid clothes. It's cousin Randolph's nice clothes that he no longer needed.
Cousin Randolph is much younger.
Oh, okay.
And you've never met the boy in your life.
Okay. Well, then it's, my older brother or some other relatives, like nice clothes. Yeah.
Right.
Ooh, I have a half brother. I should make a note of that. Okay.
I think he's younger but bigger. But I don't know that he'll come into play here.
Yeah, he may never, but it's on the sheet now.
Yes. So you've traveled for some days west through the swamp on a small dirt road. You passed some villages because they don't have fruit. maybe a hamlet or two. But otherwise, rather uneventful. And as per, I guess you got some vague instructions before leaving town. And so some days after traveling west, you took a turn down a small, muddy road north into the swamp.
Is that where they live, in the swamp?
In the moors. So you're sort of looking north up this road. And you can see the landscape gradually rising.
Okay.
In elevation.
Do we have a map?
No.
Okay.
Just use your imagination. We can sketch if you.
No, this is beautiful.
So desire, but yeah. Off far to the west, you can see mountains sort of rising out of the fog.
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, rolling mucky hills as far as the eye can see. And I guess let's get the dice warm with a perception check.
Ooh. 16.
You're sort of taking it all in. So do you want to maybe tell us what you look like? What sort of this? I don't know.
All right.
What
So
visage you strike, mucking
Genie
it through the
Genie
trail?
has on some very nice brown suede pants and a kind of green shirt with green trim and wooden baubles. Think the shirt that what's his name? What was that? Was that Heath Ledger in A Knight's Tale? The fancy shirt that he wore to the ballroom, the green trim with
It was pretty
green.
atrocious, wasn't it?
Yeah, but he thought it was cool, or his buddy thought it was cool. So he's wearing like a nice green shirt with little like wooden clasps that go down the front, and some nice brown suede pants, and he's got this large shield strapped to the side of his horse, and his bastard sword's hanging off his hip. Actually, it should be off his left hip. He's got his spell book tucked in his saddlebags for easy access where he can read on the road. All of his stuff is good to go. He's just kind of riding along on the horse, looking around, looking ahead, muttering
Half
to
elf.
himself about how shitty his family is.
Yeah, half elf. So you said you have blonde hair,
Mm-hmm.
long flowing locks, or
Mm-hmm.
okay, any beard? A beard?
I'm thinking, how old is Genie? He's 23. He should have a beard if he's going to have a beard. I think he keeps his red beard shaved.
Okay.
If I've been on the road for a few days, it might be slightly coming in.
Yeah, I think your elven heritage shows through, so it's probably somewhat patchy.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, after a few days, it's probably not a big deal. Like maybe if it's a stubble on your cheeks and your upper lip, chin fuzz, but it's only been a few days.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I guess it's it. And it's getting late in the day. Visibility's kind of low. You do have 30-foot infravision.
I'm not sure. I'm gonna just check something real quick. Ooh, that was cool.
I don't know how you made those numbers, but
Those are my strength checks. I'm trying to figure out the macro. I was playing with macros earlier, and anyway. Yeah, sorry. Got distracted. Please continue.
I was asking about your infravision, but it's not
Oh,
really that
right.
relevant.
Player's handbook is what. I'm not sure about the half elf infravision.
All right.
Elf, half elf, 60-foot infravision, and 30% resistance to sleep and charm.
Okay. All right. So you round atop this hill. The valley below is thick with fog. You follow this mucky trail, your horse slipping and sliding all the way. And you find yourself quite surprised to come face to face with the building.
Building.
A wooden paneled wall.
Just
Your first thought is that it's right in the middle of the road.
yeah. Is it connected to anything, or is it just a wall in the road?
I mean, looking around, you've sort of come down the slope, and you're just, there's mud and smeared all over the ground, so it's hard to tell where the road went. But you appear to have come upon the backside of a building.
Hmm. Um, is there any door?
You circle around.
Well, first on this side, are there any doors? I want to
No,
search for
no.
secret doors because I'm a half elf, so I have a 1 in 3 chance of spotting a secret door and a 1 in 2 chance of locating a concealed door.
Um, you're pretty confident that if there were a secret door, you would have found it.
I'm confident in all of my actions.
It appears to just be a small shack.
Who would put a wall in the middle of the road on the swamp? What the hell is going? I ride around it, looking
Okay, I
for
mean,
the proprietor
yeah,
to give them a talking to. Actually,
yeah. You turn, yeah, you turn to the right and get back on the road. It appears that you just sort of slid down off the road, which curves around the shack and widens up. And with your keen half elven eyes, you can make out some other buildings in the fog.
have I ever been this way before?
You have not. Perhaps when you were very young, but you can't remember.
Okay, so I wouldn't know if
You got
these are
you got
new
directions
constructions or
from
not.
some. What's that?
I wouldn't know if these are new constructions or not.
No, no.
Okay.
You got directions to your aunt's manor house uh, from someone on the road a while back.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, to turn down the small dirt path. You assume you've got the right dirt path,
Okay.
and here you are. So
So
the road
I
widens.
yeah, I look for an entrance to
Through the
the.
thick fog, you can yeah, see just a couple of buildings. Yes, they have doors facing out towards the street.
Okay. I
Takeshi says, "Cue the banjo music."
I ride up to the first door. Do I
Right.
see any people?
There's a
Oh,
large wooden porch. Roll a perception check.
19.
You see no one. There's a large wooden porch and a set of glass, I guess French windows. Maybe in this world they're elven windows
Mm-hmm.
that take up most of the front side of the building. You with the porch, the windows look dirty, like they haven't been cleaned in a while, and you can't see in from the road from atop your horse. It's about maybe 30 feet from here to that first shack that you saw, and then another 30, 40, 50 feet maybe down the road and across the street to the next building.
I ride up to the porch and shout, "I say, good sir, hello, hello."
Silence.
Madness. I trot on down to the next building. Is it just the two
Yeah.
buildings?
Yes, just the
Okay.
two that you can see. The next one actually has, as you approach, you can see light pouring out from behind the door.
Okay.
There's no porch.
Once again, I cry out, "Hello, good sir, are you there? Hello."
You hear no response, but you do hear a faint din of commotion within.
Well, someone clearly needs to be shown the right way of things. I dismount and wrap my horse's reins around. Is there anything nearby?
There is a prominent hitching post
I
right in front of this building.
I hitch my horse to the post.
Yes, it is a solid wooden structure. It looks weathered, but still in fine shape. You feel most confident that affixing fancy to this post.
Excellent. It is so. I take off my shield because I'm in a swamp. Monsters could come out of the water at any time, out of the lands at any time. I probably won't need it, but might as well make my best, most fearsome present. People should know that I am an imposing person to be dealt with. So I take my shield. My sword's already on my hip. My spell book is in my bag, but I've already got my spells ready. And I approach the door.
Yeah. It's a set of double doors that you push open before you, and you see inside. What? Are we losing frames?
No. I just realized that Sanctuary requires a small silver mirror, and I did not buy one before I left. I didn't buy any spell components.
Well then.
Am I just out of spell components? Because I didn't have my spells when I was buying gear, and I didn't look back.
Yep, no spell components.
So I have these spells memorized with no ability to cast them. Okay.
Let's make things interesting. All right.
I quickly look about for red, yellow, and blue sand on the ground.
You see nothing. You see a wooden floor. It is dusty, so maybe you could call it yellow, but the blue and the red will have to wait for later. You're standing in this doorway. You look up from the dusty floor to see dusty tables and dusty chairs, mostly empty. You appear to be in a tavern of sorts, but it's clearly seen better days. There are other people in the tavern. There is a dour barman in a black and white suit. A woman with what looks like a half dozen children. Very rotund woman, and the children are screaming and clamoring all over the place. And a pair of men with straw hats sitting off to the left. The bartender sort of meets your gaze with faraway eyes and cocks his head curiously to the side.
I don't even have a holy symbol.
You bought a holy symbol.
I did?
I'm pretty sure you spent the 25 gold on a holy symbol.
It's not on my character sheet. I bought a half vial of perfume and fancy clothes.
Genie is so fucked.
Oh god. I'm not... Is there any way I could change my spells retroactively to things that don't require components?
No.
No, I can't get Fire Burst and Command instead?
No.
Oh, fuck. Oh, God, I'm so dead. I'm not even going to be able to use... Okay, alright.
Yeah, okay. I think Genie's starting to get creepy vibes from this little shanty town.
Yes, I'm getting super creepy vibes.
Yeah.
And thinking back on, right, that color spray spell... I need... Oh, shit, I left my sand at home. And my mirror!
Yeah, so you're having a weird little freak out.
Oh, God. Alright, that's fine.
Sir, says the meek barman, welcome. And he sort of comes around from the front of the bar.
I say...
Goes closer. His shoulders are stooped.
What is the big idea of putting up a wall in the middle of the road?
A wall. I'll see to it most urgently, sir.
What is the point?
Can I help you with your coat?
No.
Shambles post. How tall is
5'7".
5'7". So he's taller than you, even with his stoop. Mm-hmm. Can I help you with your coat?
I do not think so.
You're letting in all the fog. And he shuts the...
Oh god, once the door's shut, it's never opening again. I'm gonna die in here.
Shuts the door. There does appear to be flute music.
Is there a source of it?
Say it's coming from a back room.
Okay.
Because of tabletop audio, every bar has to have a merry flute playing in it.
Unless you're on the Mountain Tavern. then there's no flute music. The Mountain
There's a
Tavern
mountain
music.
tavern?
Yeah, there's a
There's a
Mountain Tavern one, but it's like wind, and
That
then
sounds
people
perfect.
talking. Yeah,
We'll see if
Mountain
see.
Tavern. It's a good one.
So you shrug him off, like, do you?
Yeah, I make sure he doesn't touch me. He's a filthy man that lives in a swamp. And I say, well, it's been some time since I've been here, but a tavern?
I don't know that Mountain Tavern is tabletop audio, but there
It
are
is.
several mountain taverns.
D- there is now a when you go to add, you can do track
Oh,
and then search from tabletop audio, and it gives you its full list. And there is a mountain tavern in here. Maybe there's not. Oh yeah, it is. There we go. It's like 3/4 of the way down. After Strangers on a Train and before Ice Cavern, just
I
before
am not.
Medieval Tavern.
Okay, here we go. Oh, it's okay. Oh, there's some good spooky ones.
There's a lot of good spooky stuff.
Mountain Pass or Mountain? Oh,
Mountain Tavern. Mountain Pass is good for just like wind rustling and
Mm-hmm.
blowing, and I played a lot of Mountain Pass for Dicing with Death when you were like in the plains and walking around and needed like plains music.
Yeah. Oh, geez. It's so windy. It's so creaky.
I don't hear it.
Oh. There we go. I guess I was doing a preview. Oh, Terror.
Ooh, here we go.
Asylum. Oh man, it's gonna be a spooky episode. All right. The flute suddenly stops.
Okay.
The bartender sort of scoots away as you seem to be
Okay.
pushing him aside.
Yeah, I slowly walk up to the bar, and as I do so, ask the bartender,
Slinks
where do all
after
these
you.
people live? Seems to be a tavern in the middle of nowhere.
The two men in the straw hats are eyeing you as you walk across the room, and the barman follows as well.
I stand straight
Oh.
so people know what
Yeah.
walk of life I come from.
Why, the Johnsons live out on the moors, and Mrs. Berkshire's been here for quite some time. What's your drink, sir? Some of the bottles are dusty, but I'm sure I can fix whatever you fancy.
Rum and root beer, please.
I've a taste for sassafras myself.
I sit on one of the bar stools and look around. It's just the two men in the straw hat and the woman with like the million children.
Yeah. The creepy little children are crawling all over the place. The woman's shouting at them to get back, Susie. Sit down. Stop pulling your sister's ear. Don't chew on that. It's quite a scene in the corner. But the room seems to damp the sound well, and
Okay.
it doesn't bother you too much.
As the barman's making my drink, I ask him,
Yeah, he pulls some dusty bottles from the bottom shelf and mixes them together. He starts to chip off
I
piece of
am.
ice from a block.
How do you refer to yourself if you want to introduce yourself as a noble? I guess I would say I am Genie of House Cellwag. I am looking for my aunt by the same name. It's been
Even having a name is I think signifies probably a noble, or
okay.
I don't know, you can say of House Salak. So you do have your mother's name because you're a bastard. You wouldn't
Right.
have your father's name. So
Right.
Cellwag is your mother's name.
Yeah.
It is. It is also your aunt is married, but I don't know. So, but you say have the same name.
Yeah, I'm Genie of House Salwag. I'm looking for my aunt of the same name.
Oh, I guess her name is also Genie Cellwag, although she's
Or
married.
it'd probably be Genie something else, but
Yeah.
I think if you know the nobles in the area, you would know that she was a Salwag before she got married. You know, that sort of thing is what people do back in the day. Um, could you be
He
a good
slides.
gentleman and point me in the right direction of my aunt's estate?
Yeah, he slides a red crystal glass across the bar to you and puts in a little leaf of crushed mint. Uh, yes, the genie. The Marmal Manor is, it's just across the moors. Um,
Marmal.
I I can give you directions on the morrow if you'd like.
Are you incapable of doing so now?
Just that it's dark and ever so gloomy outside.
What? Was it dark earlier? When I was riding up? Or has it like spookily gotten dark?
Spookily gotten dark. No, the sun was going down. I think I
Okay.
had said that it was
Alright, I must have missed it
the end
then.
of the day.
Well,
Yes, this is way better tavern music than what I was using.
perhaps then you have a room for the night? This is a tavern. You double as an inn?
Yes, of course.
Excellent, excellent. And
Prepare your bedding this very moment.
as you do, I have a couple of other small requests that would mean a great deal to me.
It would be my pleasure.
Fantastic. Could you see if you could round up for me a small mirror of polished silver? Um, a God, what is the holy symbol of Bellum?
I believe it was a
Cross, spear,
a
and arrow
bow.
made of
Yeah, an
iron.
arrow bow, right?
Yeah.
A bow and arrow crossed with a spear or something like that.
Yes. And could you point me, also give me directions to the closest temple? I have seem to have misplaced my symbol of Bellum and need a new one.
Oh. Well, I've shut down the general store today, but I'm sure I can scrounge up a mirror. But I'm afraid we haven't a temple. And I don't know what this Bellum is of which you speak.
Bellum, good sir, the god of war. I am one of his servants, and I give him a meaningful look.
Christ, war? I that's rather ominous, don't you say?
The world is ominous. As long as you're rounding up that mirror for me, would you also get me a bit of bitumen?
Bit of what?
Bitumen. Good sir, bitumen.
Should I know what that is?
It's a spell component for spider climb.
I, I think it just requires a bit of.
Bitumen and a live spider, both of which must be
Oh.
eaten.
Yeah, bitumen is, I guess, asphalt.
Yeah.
Sticky blast, a highly viscous liquid or semi-solid form of petroleum. All right. Bitumen, and oh Christ! I didn't say Christ. Oh, it appears I'll need to get a pen.
Oh, you know your letters. Good man, good man. So many these days are sad.
He pulls out a pen and paper and starts to make a list. So you said you need a mirror, bitumen.
And I ask him for powdered sand of red, yellow, and blue colors, if he's got it. I'm
Yeah.
like asking for all this really, really weird
Yeah,
stuff
he,
that
he
is
doesn't
unlikely.
doesn't seem too taken aback by the requests.
Okay. Um, and if he happens to have I could use some rodent whiskers, and I think that's all I need for now.
All right. He doesn't even cringe at the thought of rodent whiskers. He just writes rodent whiskers down on the list.
Genie
And
doesn't quite understand what's going on. He's like, "Well, this guy is what a good servant. Maybe I should employ him later." By the way, man, what did you say your name was?
Barrows. You can call me Barrows.
Good man, Barrows. Good man. Anyway, I'll have one of your rooms along with that list of things, and I take a sip of the drink. I didn't roll my grub score. Come on, come on. Let's let Genie enjoy food. Yeah, my best stat.
15. The most important one. Roll a grub check. This is one of the finest drinks you've ever had. I mean, your grub skills. Yeah, I mean the rum is clearly imported, probably somewhere from maybe from the south or across the sea in the tropics. The root beer was clearly handcrafted. I mean, I guess everything was handcrafted in these days. Let me roll some stats for Mr. Barrows here. He's a suitable barman, and he didn't fuck things up too bad. But the ingredients were top notch, and the mint was fresh.
Mm-hmm.
So
Great.
he after taking down the list, he excuses himself to go upstairs to prepare your room. Did you? How quickly did you finish your drink?
Oh, I'm sipping it. I am taking
Okay.
my time.
All right. If you bother to notice, he glances at your drink before leaving, and then heads up the staircase. There are actually two staircases, one on either side of the room that sort of wrap up
Mm-hmm.
to the second floor.
Genie's feeling a little bit relaxed. This isn't that bad of a place. This barman's getting all my things. He made a great drink. There's not a lot of people here. I yell over to one of the men in the straw hats. I say, what is your name there?
They were staring directly at you, and as you call out, they sort of break eye contact and look back to their mugs.
I'm talking to you, man.
And talk amongst themselves. Yeah. So they were staring at you pretty much the entire time, and they have since ceased. You're kind of shouting at them from across the room.
And they're ignoring me?
Yeah.
They ignore Genie. How dare they? I get up and walk over to their table. That is an affront that cannot be borne. You must respect your betters. I walk over to the table and kind of like clunk my shield down so it's resting on the table and it makes a loud noise and obviously.
You cling your shield on the
Well, yeah,
table.
I like rest it because it was all my. I pick it up and like rest to the edge of it is on the table and it's like still resting against my arm, but now it's sitting on there and it kind of shakes the table and makes a noise and I look over them and I say, "What is it you do for a living? Are you serfs?" I wouldn't say for a living. I would say, "What is it that you? What walk of life are you from? Be you serfs?"
So one of them looks up at you when you walk over. They look remarkably similar. They're slender with sunken features. They look young, but the years have not been kind to them. They wear sort of rough spun onesies,
Nice.
overalls, if you
Onesies?
will,
Okay.
and have straw hats. So the
Are
first
they
one,
wearing shirts
he looks,
underneath their overalls?
one is, one isn't.
Cool.
The one with the shirt looked up and then quickly looked away, down to the floor. But the other makes eye contact, and he says, "Aye, we work the land."
And on whose behalf do you work? Is it for the Marmal family or another?
Not yours.
Well, clearly, I'm from out of town.
He spits some chewing tobacco. And it lands just a few inches to the left of your boot. You're not sure where he was aiming, but he doesn't hit you.
Now, this is awkward. No one's ever been this rude to my face before.
The yeah, the one with the shirt still seems to be avoiding eye contact. He looks shifty in his chair.
I kick the guy who spit near me. Like I want to put a foot in his chest and knock him back in his chair. You cannot speak to nobles this way.
Roll to hit.
He needs to learn his place in life. I don't know if you want to put in modifiers for a surprise or anything.
No. Where the hell are?
Oh god.
Roll a saving throw versus death.
Oh god. Oh god, it's happening. I really liked Genie.
All right. So he seems to anticipate your kick coming, and sort of steps out of his chair, and your foot gets caught in like the back of the chair. And before you know what's happening, the other man has stood up and is beside you. You manage to barely duck as his mug of ale goes flying over your head, splashing beer all over the place. Roll for initiative. Did you say anything as you gave him a kick, or were you planning to say it after you landed?
I was planning on saying after.
Mm-hmm.
D10 plus 6. 9 initiative. You're gonna chew my face off?
So the guy, you're still struggling to get your foot out of the chair, which is now overturned on the ground. You're focused on your foot, and you catch a fist in your just below your ribs, knocking the wind out of you.
How much damage?
Why don't we do the unarmed combat rules? Let's see how those look. A glancing blow off of your belly for 1 point of damage.
Okay.
Oh, but the mug of ale comes cracking down on your head, and you have 3 HP.
Yeah.
Yeah, it all goes fuzzy as beer spills over your head, and you slip out of consciousness. But don't worry, it's not over yet.
God.
What did you have of interest on your character sheet?
Clothes and backpack, shield, bastard sword, half vial perfume, fancy clothes, and knife.
You don't have any money?
I have 7 silver.
Okay.
I couldn't afford any of the things that I was buying from the guy. I was going to have him like bill my aunt.
All right. So with that, I guess let's go into an early break.
Yep. We'll see you guys.
Pick up the pieces on the other side. Mwah.